It's time for our first speech.
Joseph today is giving a speech on organizing your speeches, his project. He is to give us a presentation on the organization in a manner that leads to a clearly defined goal. The speech should include a body, a conclusion of the major facts and ideas, and appropriate supporting material with smooth transition between the facts and ideas. I will be grading him on 5 elements. At this time, bring forward Joseph.
Hello, members and Toastmasters of the Memphis Gavel Club. I'm Joseph, a current sophomore living in Bentonville, Arkansas. A couple of weeks ago, I participated in SDOC, the Student Diversity Leadership Conference in San Antonio, Texas. So it all started on a Thursday, August morning at school. I was in our upper school's divisional meeting when an announcement was made about SDOC, which was to be held for 4 days in early December 2022. Being a Chinese American in the 10th grade, my ears perked at this opportunity, so I applied shortly after. I received an email a week later, and it was a delight to see that I was selected to attend, along with 5 other students in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I was ecstatic to go. Fast forward a few months, and SDOC was right around the corner. On the day of the departure, 3 a.m. in the car on the road to the airport, I had a feeling of nervousness because, frankly, I did not know what to expect at all. What is the program going to be like, I asked. Who am I going to meet? How many people are even going to be there? Later that afternoon, after hours in the air and a stroll in the San Antonio Riverwalk, located right near our hotel, my peers and I headed to the conference site. We walked into the convention hall and holy shiitake mushrooms, I said. In front of me, a mass of 800 kids from over the nation and even overseas mingled in excitement, just like me, wondering what the next 4 days would hold. So over the course of the next few days, I participated in dozens of group discussions, reflections, and speaker presentations on the effort of exploring the racial and cultural issues plaguing independent schools today. In addition, I bonded with many new friends from the family groups and affinity groups I took part in. Though exhausting and at times discomforting, I learned so much. So here are my biggest takeaways. Number 1, as I said, on my way to SDOC, I was a bit nervous to go, but as I stepped into a large room filled with 150 plus other Asians of Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Filipino heritage, I immediately felt warm. It was the Asian affinity group I was in, and seeing that many Asian people together made me so happy. As I lived in Arkansas, where you don't normally get to see that many Asians grouped in one spot together. So as I got to know other students there, chatting about our school life, our hobbies and whatnot, I just felt comfortable. Like, bruh, I'm often a bit socially awkward, but I was killing it with them chicks over there. Haha, just kidding. But jokes aside, being amongst fellow peers from my affinity group provoked a sense of belonging inside me. And I suddenly realized that just how important it is to have these same type of spaces in our schools as well, so that others can experience what I did too. There are a few challenges to being a person of color at a predominantly white institution. For me, there's the pressure of doing well academically, partly because I am Chinese. All my fellow classmates assume I am smart and come to me for help. Though I am very glad to help them, it's these type of stereotypes that people automatically assume. And just look at the real world examples. In the midst of the COVID pandemic, there were more than 3,800 hate incidents targeting Asian Americans. I've personally had an incident of a small microaggression between a old right dude riding a Ford F-150. I was merrily riding my bike on the road, and out of nowhere, this guy just accelerates past me and yells at me to go back where I came from. Like, come on now. Whether it's at school or not, creating spaces where we can share such experiences is crucial. Other students of color and I can work these issues out and propose solutions for them, all the while building these connections and community. This is the exact type of environment I felt in my Asian affinity group at SDLC. Together, we can resonate with one another and be open to sharing. Having these spaces is so crucial. Number two, it becomes very meaningful to know someone at a deeper level. Creating these bonds/connections is essential to developing a thriving community. So on the night of the day of arrival, my friends from school and I attended the peer facilitator training, where we were basically forced to talk to a total stranger for 15 whole minutes. And the talk wasn't just regular get to know you type conversations. We literally dug into each other about our life struggles, familial and friend relationships, complications, cultural identity, and all that juicy stuff. It's incredible how much you can suddenly learn about someone in just a short amount of time. We did this by using a interviewee protocol, where the person who's asking questions only asks questions, and the person who's answering only answers questions. Experiencing these one-on-one interactions with complete strangers from other states was very meaningful, and to be honest, was quite eye-opening. It made me realize how essential it is to deeply understand one another, so that when conflict arises, we can work things out in an efficient manner. Just like what author Stephen Covey said, when you really listen to another person from their point of view and reflect back to them that understanding, it's like giving them emotional oxygen. Number three, embrace the discomfort when talking about these social issues. In addition to being able to understand one another, it's important to brace yourself for discomfort and these queasy feelings when discussing social issues. In our family groups at SDOC, which are basically groups with randomized students, about 50, we discussed identity, culture, and different core cultural identifiers, which are socioeconomic class, ability, sexual orientation, age, gender, race, ethnicity, religion, and family structure. And these were some pretty heavy topics. In my group, other students shared some really personal stories, and at times I felt pretty uncomfortable and unsettled. However, I made sure not to just throw these things aside, but to dig into them, regardless of my feelings, because though this is very cliche, it is the truth. The only way onwards is forwards. You gotta work these problems out. When we were talking about the core cultural identifiers, my instructor said something that I really resonated with. She said, certain aspects of yourself may not literally change, but your perspectives on them will. So keep an open mind when discussing these issues. My SDOC experience was quite the adventure, to say the least. It was an enriching experience that allowed me to garner so many new knowledge. If you ever have the chance to attend the conference, take it. You will not regret it. Thank you.
Excellent first speech back, Mr. Joseph. Now, I would like to bring up our second now speaker, Mr. Eric Treat.
Thank you. Fellow Gaveliers, most honored guests. Title of my speech, What Toastmasters Means to Me. It's a subject I could talk about the rest of the day, but I won't. I'll talk about three things. How I improved my leadership skills, my communication skills, and the friendships and relationships I've made. I began my public speaking career at 9 years old. Through that, I've given over 2,000 speeches. And my communication skills today, I speak with government officials. I speak with our governor of the state, generally 2 or 3 times a week. But when I began my Toastmaster journey, September 1st, 2014, I wanted to become a better communicator. And I think I've accomplished that. And it helped me in my testimony. I testify in front of Senate and legislative committees throughout our legislative session, which we're in now. Well, in 2019, I testified on one of the most historic pieces of legislation that Arkansas has had. That I delivered the best testimony I've ever given. Why? Because I am a Toastmaster. If I had the opportunity that you have today, becoming a member of a junior Toastmaster club, I would be a much better communicator today. Throughout my career, when I was fundraising and so forth, I would have been a much better speaker. In leadership, I've held several leadership roles throughout my career. So most of the organizations I'm a member of, they have a legislative agenda. Most of the time, leadership roles I've held has not been very good. But due to my Toastmasters, the members of Toastmasters, it's a different type of leadership I've ever held. So the Toastmasters are totally different. They're easier to get along with than my other groups. I'm a member of. My leadership skills last year, we took Division A to a President Distinguished Division. We were very honored to receive that. But I could not accomplish that without a team of people. And it takes a team coming together, whatever we do. When I received my DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster, I did not do that alone. Those of us in the room that are DTMs knows that it takes a team of people. I learned early in life that you're only good as the people around you. And in this meeting today, there's wonderful people. You have wonderful mentors here that go with you throughout your Toastmaster journey if you wish them to. So some of my mentors I've had for 8 years. I plan on keeping those mentors the rest of my Toastmaster journey, however long that will be. The friendships and relationships I've built, it's invaluable. Such a Toastmaster Don Gray. Yeah, Don and I we are a member of a club together, and we've worked together throughout the last 2 or 3 years. And Don is a mentor and a friend that I'll have for the rest of my life, I think. In the networking, the networking I've done in Toastmasters. If I need some assistance or something, I have I have individuals I can call to help me, which Toastmasters really helped me out a few minutes ago, and I appreciate him very much. But in your Toastmaster journey, fellow Cavaliers, you will learn these three things are so very important to your career. And in the day that you will become better at your communication, leadership, and networking skills, they will last you a lifetime. As they have me. Fellow Cavaliers, I hope that this opportunity that I've had to speak to you, that I challenge you to become Toastmasters, because each of you here that I've listened to in the last 6 months, I believe each of you can become very successful in your careers. Fellow Cavaliers.
Thank you for the speech. Mr. Eric. Next up, we have our table topics, which doesn't look like our table topics master is here.
Table topic master. Table topic.
Yes.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
All right. Happy New Year, Gavel Club members. We're gonna have some fun time through our table topic session. The first question is, what's your New Year resolution? And that question goes to Jonathan.
Thank you for the question. So the question is, what is my New Year's resolution? Honestly, I haven't really thought about it. I know that people make New Year's resolutions earlier in the year, and then some people keep them, some people don't. And I honestly don't really know. I mean, I can set goals for myself throughout the year, so I don't think I don't like setting like I guess a big goal that I should accomplish, like a deadline. It's like at the end of the year I want to, get to this, or I should finish this book in my violin, or I should get grades or whatever. But I should probably, I guess, take smaller steps in order to reach my goals. So I think I'm kind of generally like a disorganized person. So it's good. I believe it's good for me to write down my daily schedule and put small goals for every day so that I can accomplish what I want to do. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, a lot of people debate, is it good to have a New Year resolution, because that turned out to be a new week revolution, and people just stopped doing it after the first week. I totally agree with you. The plan can change based on what you realize, or plan, change. It's change constantly. So yeah, thank you for your response. The next question is, how was your winter break? Can you briefly tell us a little bit about it? And that question goes to Xavier.
Thank you for the excellent question. My winter break was fun for me. The first half of winter break, I got to sit down and chill and just relax. Didn't have to worry about doing work, going here or there. I could just chill. After that, the second half of winter break, after I got all my gifts, I could chill even more with my new gifts. Since I got a projector, I was able to use that, and still am. Right now, I was just using it last night, just chilling, watching my shows, doing whatever, just like I was on winter break. Over the winter break, since we didn't really go anywhere, and I was sitting in the house, I decided to, what'd you say, simulate me flying since I have a joystick and throttle. So I decided to, start flying virtually, of course. But yes, over the winter break, that's really all I did. Just chill. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Xavier. That sounds a lot of fun, flying virtually. Want to hear more about it later. The third question is, have you ever received a Christmas gift that you didn't expect or didn't want? Have you ever received a Christmas gift that you didn't want and didn't expect? And that question goes to Tony.
A Christmas present that I didn't want.
Didn't want.
No, I can't say that I have, Anna, because they know what to buy me is a book, and one that I've been looking for or can't afford, or on some country. But it's always for me gonna be some type of documentary or book. So basically, that's all I do anyway: is read and research and travel all over the world through my books and through people like you who have moved from China to the United States. And I have a lot of friends that, in fact, our district director, Lou Jean, came here by herself as a scientist and got a job at Walmart in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, and now has been married for the last year and about 6 months pregnant. So I get a chance to learn a lot from people from different countries, and that's one of the things Toastmasters has offered me, an opportunity to meet and greet and learn. So I appreciate the question. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jean.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, now I know what to buy you in the future. My next question is this question will have to go to a Chinese because we have Chinese New Year coming. It is next Saturday on the 22nd. So I would like to hear your favorite Chinese New Year tradition. And that question goes to Michael.
This is going to be a bit embarrassing because although I was born in China, I actually don't remember a lot about the Chinese New Year tradition. I'm sure my parents downstairs would be able to give me a great lesson, but unfortunately, I can't rely on them for right now. But I do feel that the key aspect of Chinese New Year is to unite with family. That is certainly my favorite part because it's kind of similar to Christmas where you get to meet your entire extended family and have a big dinner with fancy food. And really it's a wonderful time because you spend a lot of time with your family. That for me is the favorite part because spending time with family is very important. And a lot of the time in this world where everyone is so busy, it's hard to do. Chinese New Year is kind of a time when everyone in China, at least, is on break. So they can all travel home. That for me is the favorite part of Chinese New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. That's great. Yes, family time is always the best time. And during this long break, we can travel back home and be with parents. My next question is, what do you suggest me to do tomorrow? Since tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, and most of us have a day off. So I'm trying to plan my day tomorrow. Do you have any suggestion for me what to do and how to do, where to go? And that question goes to Forrest.
Okay, here's what I think may be an excellent plan. Sorry about that. Tomorrow is a national holiday. It's in recognition or observance of Martin Luther King Day. Now, I'm sure you, or probably all of us, have gone down to the National Civil Rights Museum. Tomorrow would be an excellent day. In fact, that's what it's about. That's that center point place where all of us can come together in observance and reflection on the life of Martin Luther King. Take, for instance, the story that we heard earlier today by Joseph, right? The fact that some, if I may say, ignorant person would say to him, hey, go back to where you come from. That's exactly a big part of the struggle for African Americans as a whole. It's not just those small incidences, small situations where somebody speak ill or ignorantly about something that they know nothing about. But nevertheless, we know that it's real. So Anna, perhaps you might want to just go there and just be amongst the thousands. I predict that there will be thousands of people. So if it's a cold day, you will be amongst warm souls. The fact that there will be hundreds of people there, probably a few thousand people there. If it's cold outside, you will not feel the cold because you'll have the warmth of all the people who are coming there simply to observe, just to be there on this particular instance of this Martin Luther King Day holiday. Perhaps that's what you can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Horace. Okay, now it's 4:10. I think we can wrap up this table talk session. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I garnered enough questions for you. I hope you enjoy the questions. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Xavier.
Thank you for the short coming in and taking over for our table topics master, who wasn't here today. Next up, I would like to bring up our timer for our timers report, Mr. Michael Leal.
Hello, I will now give my timers report. Our first speaker, well, technically our second, but he spoke first. Joseph spoke for 7 minutes and 48 seconds, a great speech about inclusiveness and also diversity, but a little over time. Our second speaker, Toastmaster Eric, spoke for 7 minutes and 56 seconds, also over time, but also a great speech about how Toastmaster has helped his life. For our table topics, none of us were over time. Jonathan spoke for 1 minute 17 seconds. Xavier spoke for 1 minute 25 seconds. Toastmaster Tony spoke for 1 minute 22 seconds. I spoke for 1 minute 14 seconds, and Toastmaster Horace spoke for 2 minutes. That concludes my timers report. Passing it back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
For the timers report, Mr. Michael. Now, let me see. Our general evaluator, Mr. Tim Zhou, doesn't seem to be here.
Can I try volunteering?
Sure, Mr. Jonathan, you could be our general evaluator. So I'd like
Okay.
to bring you up. Here you go.
This is my first time, so please excuse me if I do something wrong. So should I introduce the evaluator first? The two evaluator. Okay. So I guess the first or second evaluator, Mr. Don Gray for Joseph.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jonathan with Gavel, Jonathan. I had the opportunity to evaluate Joseph today. When I started out, I liked Joseph doing a speech from the Company Communicators Guide, organizing your speech. I was a little shocked to see that he had used the manual to plan his speech, and he did a great job. So with that being said, I'm going to use the Company Communicators Guide. Maybe he has his, and he can follow along with me and understand what I'm trying to teach him. First of all, Joseph, you were supposed to give a speech today, which was 5 to 7 minutes. You went over a little bit. So I would like to say right now, and that you should pay a little more attention to the time. You gave a great speech, but you went over. Okay, for your speech purpose, I will rate you above average for your experience. So that would be a 4 according to the communicator's guide. That means that you spoke like you had experience in what you was trying to convey to us. So you went over and above your experience level. So you did a great job there. Your speech value, it was interesting. So I rated you a 4 there. You did an excellent job. You gave us a speech that everyone can relate to. Preparation, I gave you a 5. And the reason for the 5, because you could tell that you had rehearsed your speech and read it before, because you just flowed right through it. I did not see you reading from any notes. Organization, your speech was rated a 4. It was logical and it was clear. So you rated a 4 there. The opening of your speech, when you started out, you captivated us by telling us what your intentions were by going to the SDLC. Now, you told us what that was and you told us how you got there. So you did captivate us with that opening. The body flowed smoothly. You kept talking, going from point to point, and it was very interesting. You gave us some supporting points with some figures and the information about some of the other students there. When you concluded your speech, I didn't actually see you concluded with much information on what you had in your speech. You sort of just jumped and closed it out. So I would say you should work on your conclusion by refining what you told us or reinforcing what you told us, and by reviewing some of the items that you have told us in your speech, and use that as a way to close out your conclusion. Your transition between your sentences and your statements was smooth. There was nothing I could say wrong. Everything just flowed right there. As far as being more effective, I think you should just practice your speeches a little more, give more speeches, take your time, and you become better. And that comes with experience. I do like your topic selection, the information that you share. And I like the part when you said that you were there at this location and you felt warm and welcome when you saw other Asian Americans. That's a good sign of growing. You know, you're a little bit nervous when you got there, but after you met people that you had something in common with, you relaxed and began to communicate with them. And you included it in your speech. Overall, you did meet your objective of the speech. You just went a little bit over time. Thank you. And I like the part when you did come out of the competent communicators guide. Thank you. Back to you, general evaluator.
Thank you for the evaluation. Up next is Mr. Horace Taylor for evaluating Mr. Dongre, or evaluating Eric Tree.
Thank you so much. Let me garner my nerves as I attempt to do my best to give an evaluation for Mr. Eric. Let me begin first by saying Eric demonstrated to us all, or for us all, how to excellently overcome a technical challenge. The fact that for whatever reason, we lost his picture. And subsequently, when he came back in and it was time for him to speak, he went on as though there was never a glitch. He wasn't bothered. It didn't get under his skin or anything. Secondly, once he began to speak, he laid out the framework for which he was going to address items. He laid out 3 topics that he was going to cover, from public speaking, the fact that he has over 2,000 professional speaking engagements, and the fact that he even speaks before legislatures, giving his personal testimony. Then Eric went into some of the leadership roles as Toastmasters. And then he talked about or shared with us the fact that he, along with everyone in Division A, was able to move Division A into becoming recognized as a President's Distinguished Status Division just this past fiscal year. Then Mr. Eric began to give us clear examples and things to focus on as we continue, or should I say, in particular for the Gavaliers as they move forward. For instance, the fact that he recognized the interaction between him and distinguished Toastmaster Don Gray lends credibility or lent credibility to him speaking, right? That says that let us know that, okay, hey, this man knows what he's talking about. And then as he concluded his speech, he left us with these two things. All that he has gotten out of Toastmasters, because he told us early on, he had started his public speaking career at the age of 9. But yet when he came into Toastmasters was to help better his communication skills as a Toastmaster. And he said to the Toastmasters, to the Gavaliers, guys, you are charged to stay the course. The payoff will be handsome. And you, each and every one of you deserves that. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
So should we go back to the timer for the evaluation?
Yeah.
Okay, so our timer for evaluator.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to time the evaluations. I did not.
It's okay. Okay, then we'll go to the grammarian, which is Joseph.
Okay, so starting with me, I'll just call myself there. Miss Anna Zhang helped me check my improper use. I had 2 A's. Mr. Eric treats 1 A, very good. For the table topics session, Jonathan had a few likes, 1 I guess, and 1 A. Xavier had no improper language, so very good. Miss Brittenham was very good as well, no improper language. Michael, very good as well, no improper use. Mr. Horace Taylor, very good as well. For the evaluation session, Mr. Don Gray, thank you very much for your evaluation, no improper use. And finally, Mr. Horace Taylor, I caught 1 so very good job. And he also used the word of the day. Thank you.
So back to the Toastmaster.
That would be your general evaluation, the meeting evaluation. Jonathan.
Oh,
Yeah, you do the evaluation on the whole meeting.
so what should I say there?
Just your observation of the whole meeting. Anything you think we can improve for the meeting, or call out somebody did something really good, or something somebody needs to watch out. I can add something there. We didn't start on time because when we only had like 4 people at a time of 4:30, but that's okay. We had a long break. We have almost a 1 month break, so we kind of let it slip, and that's okay. But I want to call out Eric for just as Horace mentioned. Eric showed no sign of having the technical difficulty, and he just logged back in and continued on. So that is what we learned as a Toastmaster, long-time Toastmaster. We just come back in and continue, right? Press on. So that is something we all can learn and apply later. Anybody else have a suggestion for the meeting? Okay, all right. Then I'll give the time back to our Toastmaster Xavier.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, before we go into our last part in our clip, I'd like to say, since all of our members were not garnered here today, I would like to thank you, Miss Anna, Mr. Joseph, and Jonathan for taking up the roles of 3 of our missing members here today. It was a great thing for y'all to do. Thank you. And now that we've been through our general evaluation session, I believe we don't have any more announcements in one.
Oh, Eric, go ahead.
Mr. Eric.
Yes, thank you. There was one name I did not mention here today. Is Toastmaster Tony Britton. She has been a big part of my Toastmaster journey, and I thank her too. Thank you.
I would like to announce, just to remind everybody that our survey is still open. I got 3 wonderful responses, and those are responses bring some very good ideas and suggestions for our club and the meetings. But we still have almost 10 people left that have not submitted responses. So I will drop the link here. Give me a second. I'll drop the link here. If you can submit your response today, we have 4 minutes left. This survey will take about 5 or 6 minutes. We would really appreciate it. It will help us do better for our club and meetings. So click on that and see if you can access and select the answers, if you may.
We can do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I just want to say thank you to Eric for that comment. I try my best to be of service in any capacity that I can. And is it ni hao? Is that how I say it, Anna?
Yeah.
Ni hao. I'm gonna have a new word in Chinese next week. All right.
Tony, thank you so much. You have been just long time supporter and in service for this club. Thank you so very much. And Eric too. Thank you, Eric, for giving us this wonderful speech today.
I did not get the survey, Anna.
You cannot access the survey?
I did not get it.
Oh, okay.
It's in the
I
chat.
dropped. Oh, right. Okay. I sent it to just one person that it should do the everyone. Okay, right here. Sorry about that. Now, see that. I think everybody is busy on that form. If we do not have anything else, we can talk about next week's speakers. Any volunteer for speaker role? Okay, I think Peter will be a speaker and hope his basketball practice will not be next Sunday. I can do a speech. Now we need 2 evaluators. Who can be an evaluator? Okay, Eric, thank you. Youth, can you evaluate Peter's speech? Any youth can take on that? Yes, Joseph, thank you. All right, I will help Peter rearrange the other roles accordingly. Anybody cannot be next week? Okay, so everybody will be here still. Okay, all right, we're all set. Yeah, please submit that form so we can.
Did you get an evaluator? I did not. I was so busy looking at the form. Did you get an evaluator?
Yes, I have Eric evaluating me and Joseph is evaluating Peter.
Okay, any other openings?
Yes, we have everything else open. Can you be a backup speaker?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, just in case Peter cannot attend again.
All right. Thank you so very much. And thank you, Xavier. Good job today as a Toastmaster. Okay, I'll see you next Sunday. It will be hybrid. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Eric.